Good evening, everybody. This is the Cruiser Chris World Network, and today we're on a nature walk. Normally, I bring myself on these nature walks, but today I decided I wanted to bring a guest. So, guest, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
We don't get run over.
Yeah.
Okay, people that are not on wheels. We're standing on this nature trail, and a few people have gone by with bicycles and scooters and what else?
Dogs.
A couple dogs.
Yeah.
One dog. Hey everybody, my name is Bridget and I'm hanging out with Chris. Is that your name? Chris?
Yeah, I think that's my name. Last time I checked, yeah.
So we're just hanging out, enjoying this beautiful nature next to the highway.
The road.
At least we're kind of safe down here from getting run over.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry I didn't really do my hair today.
That's okay. Well, this was kind
Chris
of...
was like, "Are you okay with going on camera?" And I'm like, "Honey, please."
Yeah. So anyway, Bridget, what do you do?
Too bad we can't really easily get us. Well, I could do it like this.
Yeah. You want to do it like that?
Yeah, and should we? Well, you had the idea of walking and doing this, but I'm not the most coordinated person, and I'm also going to get really out of breath if I'm walking and talking.
Okay. So, let's hit pause. And, okay.
So, Chris, your question for me was, what do I do?
Yeah. For like
well, I started a new job working for a disability services provider organization. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically, want to make sure that you're still in here.
Yep.
This is very much a do-it-yourself video.
Yep.
It's low budget.
They don't call it selfie for nothing.
Let's see how long my arms are. So I am helping to manage an in-home services program for a disability organization. So we do a variety of support for people with different disabilities and health issues, and this is a field I've been in since the late 90s.
Boy.
What year were you born? Were you born in the 90s?
1987.
Oh, okay.
So just before.
So you grew up in the 90s.
Just before the 90s, I was born. Yep.
1997, I got my first job as a home health aide. I'm still working as a PCA on the side. And I guess I would say my career has been advocacy and frontline work.
Yep.
And also getting involved in politics. See, I'm already getting out of breath. This is why I said let's go on a walk, because got to get some cardio.
Yeah.
And fresh air.
Important to walk, keep the blood pumping, and get the fresh air.
Well, Chris, do you remember when we met?
Yeah.
At the Capitol?
We were at the, it was Arm Days at the Capitol, and you were a part of an organization called the Youth Legacy Foundation.
Which is still alive, barely.
Right, yeah. But are you still running that, or?
Yes.
You are?
Yes. So what he's talking about is the Youth Legacy Foundation, which is a nonprofit I started in 2011 to expand access to community opportunities for youth with disabilities. And the 4 program components are mentoring, peer mentoring, service leadership, or service learning, and leadership. Sorry. It's been a while since I've shared a little spiel about YLF.
Yeah.
But basically, it's gone through some iterations, as organizations do. It's still going. It's small. We have a board of directors, 1 paid person who just works part-time. And let's see, about a year ago, I created a 49-page do-it-yourself package for youth with disabilities and their families, with all kinds of information and resources for how to get involved in your communities and develop skills that will eventually be helpful to you as you graduate from high school and maybe go to a transition program and become a young adult.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, if people wanted to go online, because everybody likes to go online these days, where would they go online to find that?
The website is youthlegacyfoundation.org, and we have a Facebook page. I would say most of what we do is share information. Sorry, I don't always like to make eye contact. I'm autistic, so even when it's like video.
Oh, that's okay.
So if I start randomly looking somewhere else, that's just me. But yeah, so I also just finished up a master's degree in public affairs and did a redesign on the Youth Legacy Foundation, or also known as YLF. So we're going to be doing some other stuff and adding a new board member hopefully next week. So
if people want to become a board member or get more involved, how do they do that?
I would say they could call or email me, Bridget at youthlegacyfoundation.org, BRIDGET. Otherwise, you can call me or text 612-272-0281. 612-272-0281. Here's a bike. Should we move?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Blocking the trail. Hello. Oh, cool. Tandem bike. I rented one of those when my daughter was younger, and we went around Baker Park. It was a little bit stressful because, like, if I dump the bike, then both of us are gonna go flying. Like,
Yeah.
she was a child at the time, so she would have been hurt. But
What's your daughter's name?
Imani.
Okay. And what are some challenges that Imani had through school?
So she has cerebral palsy, like you.
Okay.
CP. And the main thing was like going back to school after surgeries. So it was kind of stressful and tricky. But she would get, like, we would just basically communicate with the school about like when she was coming back after surgeries. Lots of leg surgeries. Did you ever have to do leg surgeries?
Oh, yes.
How did that go?
It was very painful, but also very challenging. Because when you did the surgeries, your body and its muscles would be weakened. Like the strength would be taken away from you. And then you would have to build that strength all back up again.
And learn how to walk all over again.
Yep.
Yep, sounds familiar. Did that every year.
Now, when I was in school, Bridget, I had some teachers that would like say that I couldn't do things based on how I looked or because I was slow. Did you ever deal with that with Imani?
I don't really think that she dealt with, like, I mean, of course there's like disableism and ableism.
Yeah.
But I don't think teachers ever said she couldn't do something, but I can't remember.
Okay.
And I don't think she really got picked on or anything, but
Okay.
I think sometimes kids didn't know how to react to like the wheelchair or like the whole coming to school with casts on your legs and
Braces.
big wheelchairs. We called them the big rig.
Yeah.
The braces and everything. So I think sometimes they would kind of back off.
Yeah. What would you say to those people who are kind of scared or dealing with challenges right now in the school system?
I can hardly even see you because of the lighting now. There he is.
There I am. Hang on.
With my low budget. There, okay. With my very low budget.
Yeah, very low budget video, but you know what? It's okay.
Yeah, you can also watch it for free.
Yep. Don't have to pay for it. Yeah.
You don't have to pay to watch all of this.
Nope.
Well, I would say if you're uncomfortable with a wheelchair or someone's disability, that's normal, just because I think, how would I say it? We need to normalize disability more as just like a part of diversity, a normal part of life, and people are just people. You're just a person too, right, Chris?
Yep.
Me too. Try not to get people in our video. Like me as an autistic person, if I tell people, and then also that I have mental health disabilities, sometimes people don't really understand it and may have some negative perceptions, but that's just because people are unfamiliar. So I would say get to know people. Get to know people as people.
Bridget, I'm going to come on the other side of you, or try to.
Okay. What would you say to those people?
I would say, I don't view myself as a person. I don't view myself as a person with a disability. And we'll deal with the barking dog. Hit pause for a minute.
Oh.
Well, we
Okay, so change of perspective here, but I think,
had a barking dog, so we had to hit pause for the barking dog.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get you in the camera, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at this.
And I'm not very good with driving.
Basically, I feel like disability is normal and it should be normalized, but we also, I think it's important to not try to erase disability and say that it doesn't exist, or like also different terms like different ability are not really helpful. So I think it is important and healthy to say what it is. It's a disability. I have disabilities. I'm disabled. Just like I'm a woman. What else? It's a lot of we're a lot of things.
Be honest about yourself.
I'm queer. I'm
Be honest with
disabled.
yourself. Yeah.
It's real. It's okay. Like when people try to find other language or try to act like it doesn't exist, that actually is a way of, it's kind of based in thinking that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, and disabilities are not a bad thing.
It is what it is.
Just like wheelchairs are not a bad thing.
Yep. Helps you get around.
Wheelchairs are just a different way of getting through life. That's all they are.
Exactly. Yo, that's right. I can't really, I'm just I have to keep adjusting this.
It's okay.
Hello. Hi. We're just doing a little walk and talk about life.
Yep.
Life.
There's nature. And me.
Who's that guy with that scruffy red hair and beard?
Hey, that's me.
I don't know if I caught your funny face.
Yeah. So, what made you want to start Youth Legacy Foundation?
Well, because I got involved in advocacy for direct support professionals like PCAs and other frontline staff in the disability field. And I would just drag my poor daughter with me to meetings.
Yeah.
But then she started learning about advocacy, and people got to know her, like other advocates, and I just thought I could create a program to offer a way for youth to get involved in whatever they want to in their community, so civic engagement types of activities. So then YLF started with a group of all disabled people in a new board of directors. That's right. We had a dream team.
Michael Jordan wasn't on it, was he?
Oh, no, he was too busy. So we had a dream team of some fabulous disabled people, and we put together some ideas, and that's where the program components came from, like the mentoring and advocacy or leadership. I can't even remember what. No, I do. I'm just getting fumbled. But yeah, so we just started like mapping out stakeholders, like who are some organizations we should get involved with, what are activities we should do. So we did like leadership brunches, like we used to go hang out at Perkins and invite different speakers.
Like
We need a wider camera.
Rockford Fosgate speakers or
Who's that?
Sony speakers.
It was like a couple.
Oh,
Who are all these people? Sports people?
no, speakers. Like musical speakers.
Oh, it's a joke.
Oh, yeah, see?
It's a joke.
You never know where I'm going to work the humor into.
So then, yeah, at one of our brunches, we had a couple legislators come out and talk about anti-bullying legislation. How long do you want this video to be?
Well, we can go for a long.
Nobody's gonna watch all this shit.
Well, yeah.
Very low budget
It's okay.
with a very poor camera person.
It's okay. We're all good.
So I like doing advocacy. So tomorrow, for example, I have 2 caucus meetings for.
What's a caucus?
Well, okay, so these are community caucuses of the DFL. So I'm on the board of the Disability Caucus and the newly created Socialist Caucus, and it's not official yet, but we're hoping to get caucus status. But they are these community groups that form within the DFL party. So I'm also involved with Stonewall. But tomorrow I have 2 caucus. Stonewall is for GLBTQ. So I have 2 caucus meetings, plus I'm going to an organizing meeting for a candidate who's running for Minneapolis City Council.
What's his name?
Door knock, Jason Chavez.
Tell us about him.
Chris, you just want the whole biography.
Well, I want to know what does Bridget do?
This is better lighting for my raggedy ass. Sorry,
it?
do you swear on your show?
No, but it's okay. I'll just put an age restriction on the video. So we get people over the age of 18.
Midlife crisis. I'm having a midlife crisis right now
Yeah. What's up?
with my selfies and high ponytail. My thinning hair and a ponytail.
Oh, yeah.
So
You just keep on
Jason works at the state capitol and was born and raised in the 9th ward of Minneapolis.
We're going to cross over
He's a
here
proud
to the other trail here.
Mexican, queer Mexican. His parents are immigrants.
Hold on,
He's
car.
been super involved in the community and an amazing leader. And Aisha Shugtai has also been very involved in the community and is an organizer. And they're going to let us cross.
Oh, I like these drivers. They're very nice.
So I guess we'll take video of us crossing the damn road.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. This is like the most exciting video ever.
Don't get smacked.
Don't get run over.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of your YouTuber career.
Yeah. My mom will be like, no more YouTube for you.
So yeah, both Aisha and Jason are amazing, and I really like their vision and approach and how they engage communities. Now we're back to bad lighting. Looks like my hair is like so bad.
It's okay. People don't have perfect hair. That's all right.
My hair looks weird. Looks like it's painted on my head.
You have eared.
Heard?
Yeah.
What?
Weird hair. Weird hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says the guy that doesn't obviously comb his hair.
Well, yeah.
But I like that look though.
I just let the professionals comb it. You know?
Okay, well, I didn't comb your hair today.
That's okay.
I failed you. So yeah, I'll be door knocking in between meetings tomorrow.
What is door knocking for people that don't know?
Well, you take literature like brochures or flyers, or like some of them are like cardstock. Has a picture of the candidate usually and some talking points, maybe their endorsements, and you go to I gotta catch my breath.
You want me to hold the camera?
If you want.
I can take it, yeah. So I'm now gonna hold the camera.
So you take your literature, you go to the door. Sorry, I did not wear the best shirt for this.
It's okay. You're good.
I'm fat and I still wear tight clothes.
That's okay.
Because it's comfortable. Anyways, so when you door knock, actually it is nice to be hands-free. A lot of times the literature is like a card like this, like cardstock, and might have the picture and some information about their campaign, endorsements, and hopefully you've done a little research so you know a little bit about the candidate.
So you shouldn't just go to the door and say vote for the guy.
Well, I mean, that's one way of doing it. So then you have your turf, which is basically someone on the campaign. There's a few bugs out here.
Yeah.
Someone on the campaign will cut your turf. So basically, it's the houses you're going to go to.
Okay, keep walking, and I'll try and hold the
knock
camera.
on those houses.
Okay.
Okay, let's try this. Sorry, we're very low budget,
It's okay.
as we established.
It's okay. Well, this is new for me too.
So you basically try to engage voters, have a conversation, see what they would like to talk about, what they're interested in, and share a little information about the campaign. And I've also been telling people that early voting started in Minneapolis,
When did that start?
I believe on the 17th. And there are a couple of amendments, so I don't know in what order, but there's a public safety amendment. We're asking people to vote yes. That is to expand public safety so that we can diversify our approach to addressing public safety. For example, when dispatching different folks, let's see if I can explain this. So like for dispatch, it wouldn't just be like armed police showing up at everything. You would have maybe social workers showing up on a mental health call,
Along with
or a welfare check.
Along with the police, right?
No, not necessarily. Police don't need to go to. Police are sent out to like everything, but it's very much like. It's just kind of like they're being called to do things that are not really within sort of like what is most appropriate for their type of work.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. But
Right.
like for mental health calls, you don't need police showing up. Like,
Okay.
or there are lots of situations where other professionals can go out and de-escalate situations.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there are issues of police brutality, violence, and corruption. Sorry, I'm going to trip over your chair.
It's okay.
So anyways, a lot of Black, brown, and indigenous and people of color and LGBTQ people and disabled people have dealt with a lot of disproportionate police brutality and violence. So almost all police brutality incidents involve someone who has a disability.
Okay.
I think a lot of people might not know that. And of course, many of them are also Black or brown people or indigenous. And some of these like Black neighborhoods get over-policed and people get harassed because of racism and other discrimination, harassing poor people. It's even happened to me when I've been poor or like when I've had mental health breakdowns.
Okay.
So I don't like when the cops show up. A lot of people don't want you to call the police. They would rather you call a different number or have someone else come out.
Yeah.
When maybe they're not doing well.
Right. It's okay.
Yeah.
So what
We
are
need to like modernize how we do policing and how we do public safety. Like, police are only part of that.
right?
We need just like a bigger, more comprehensive way of keeping ourselves safe so that it works for everybody.
Yeah.
And
But so okay, let me ask you a couple questions about that. What are some things that you think a mental health professional can do that a police officer could not do?
well, all you have to do is look at disability services. Like the organization I work for, we work with people with mental health issues and disabilities, people with criminal records, all kinds of different backgrounds, behavior issues like acting out or maybe getting violent. We are highly trained on how to de-escalate and work with people and also be proactive. So actually, if you look at disability services, I think it is a good model to learn from because people with disabilities have been brutalized and treated abusively and violently
Throughout history.
throughout history,
Yep.
including genocide. And there have been lawsuits and reforms have been made, and there's still a long way to go, but we have a lot more regulations and rules.
We've made
and
progress.
You can't just put we've made a lot of progress that other systems could learn from. Like, it's illegal for me to put my hands on someone to stop them. Like, if you started like getting upset and coming after me or something, I would have to try to de-escalate that.
Okay.
And so there are lots of different approaches to working with people when they're
Hello.
when they are upset, overwhelmed, and now we're gonna go through a dark tunnel, so everything might go black.
We'll hit pause. Okay, so continuing.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of confusion around what public safety would look like, but with these charter amendments on public safety and rent control, I think we just need to try to clarify what they mean. So the public safety charter amendment doesn't mean that we would just eliminate the police force. It would allow us to create this Department of Public Safety, and community would be involved in shaping what that would look like. So we're not going to just pull all the cops off the street. There is a process that needs to happen. This is very early on in the whole phase of moving in that direction. So hopefully these amendments will pass and we can continue with planning and strategies and community engagement.
Okay.
And so I think some people feel like, well, there isn't a plan and we don't know what we're doing, and all of a sudden we're just not going to have any police or anything and it's going to be anarchy. That is not what will happen. There's just a lot of confusion and anxiety, and so that is also something we are talking with people when we're outdoor knocking. Like the other night, I spent 2 hours at one door.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation, and I appreciated that this person was so open to talking about public safety and a whole lot of other issues.
Okay, so you say that we want to have a new public safety department. Where do you think the police fit in with that?
Well, I mean, whether they are police officers like we have now or some other type of armed peace officers, maybe. I think there are very few occasions when we need to send out armed police. And I think policing, let's just say hypothetically, police could be a part of public safety for specific things that they're trained to do.
Like?
And there needs to be, like, violent situations. I mean, police usually show up after the fact. You know, someone gets murdered or beat up, police show up after the fact. So there's a lot more we can do for violence prevention, but yeah, so there are scenarios where we need people to be there who are armed, but the policing we have right now is very militaristic. They bring out their big guns, like when I've been out peaceful protesting.
Yeah.
They harass us. They bring out their big guns. During the uprisings, they were basically, I don't know what all they did, but they were being violent toward protesters.
I think I saw you one day when you were out peacefully protesting.
I'm a peaceful protester, and when the police show up, they're not peaceful toward us. Like, there was one time I was protesting in Uptown, and all of a sudden the cops just surrounded us from all directions and came out with their big guns and everything. It was scary, and everyone started running.
Why do you...
Including me, and I can't run that fast.
Yeah.
I think I even lost one of my shoes.
Oh, on the run?
Yeah.
Oh. What do you think the police could do better to handle that kind of situation?
Well, if you look at other countries, they don't have such a militaristic style of policing. Like, one of my friends was telling me how they are in Italy. They're like very much like friendly and there to be helpful, and but Europe is just different. I mean, they've also, like, I guess I can't speak on it too much, but the US is like, we definitely have a problem with police culture. And I didn't even know you had the camera on me like that.
It's okay.
My big belly
It's okay.
from grad school, writing a book, everything, sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
People self-select into policing here because, like my brother said, I want to drive fast cars and shoot guns.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of white supremacists in policing. They go into it because they want to have power.
Yeah. Do you think all police are bad?
That's people will say that, like, oh, not all police are bad or whatever. Here I am. Hi again. But it's about a system of policing that is actually rooted in controlling enslaved people. Like,
Yeah.
it has white supremacist origins.
Yeah.
So it's a rotten system altogether, and we need to have a complete redesign on how we're doing public safety, and there needs to be transparency and accountability. Cops, until very recently, it was just unheard of for cops to be ever charged with a crime. So people say, oh, not all cops are bad. It's not about that. It's a systemic problem, and so I think that's how we need to approach it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe...
And actually one of our protest chants is, no good cops in a racist system, no good cops in a racist system.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool.
And
I mean...
what else do we say? Whose streets are streets? Whose streets are streets? Whose streets are streets?
Yeah.
And let's see, what else? Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Sorry, you already said that you're going to put a warning on this video.
Yeah.
Fuck the police, we say that. That's from a song from NWA.
I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lots of different chants And see, honestly, when I go out and protest, I feel like it's very much a community spirit of love. So, like, how protesters get portrayed is that, oh, there's just a lot of garbage people say about protesters.
Do you think?
But I think it's nothing but love and community support.
Do you think that the media, like the mainstream media, like the news organizations, have a hand in kind of portraying protesters as bad people?
I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, yeah, there is a problem in how, like, media needs to do a better job of how they are presenting protesting and justice work. So, I mean, sometimes the articles are good and sometimes they perpetuate, like, some of these, like, problematic narratives.
Okay.
And sometimes they don't really represent what communities are saying.
Right.
So I think there's definitely been some movement within journalism to build more trust with communities.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that will result in better journalism, like with stronger relationships between journalists and community members who are active in these things, including protesting.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Like, why don't we talk more about Imani real quick? What does she do?
Speaking of journalism, my daughter is a journalist.
Yeah?
Well, she's a reporter,
Okay.
a solutions reporter, which covers basically how people are finding solutions to shared community problems.
Right.
So she just started a new job recently.
St. Cloud?
Yep.
Okay.
Before that, she was at the Star Tribune. I feel like I'm going to accidentally put my foot under your chair when you're... I'm going to lose a foot.
It's okay. We can call a tow truck.
In case I just lose a couple toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she went to the U of M journalism school, and that was a really good school and with a lot of opportunities to practice journalism. Like, she worked for the Minnesota Daily newspaper, had an internship at the Business Journal, did a practicum at the Star Tribune, then freelanced one story a month, and now she's full-time at the St. Cloud Times. So...
What kind of stuff do they cover up there, or comparison down to here?
I'll have to get back to you on that because I haven't been reading their newspaper, even though I did live out there when Imani was a baby for about a year and several months.
Okay.
But yeah, I've also just graduated with my master's, and I didn't read anything that was not related to school.
Right. When
Are we doing a big loop?
yeah.
Or do we walk all the way back now?
We gotta go back through a neighborhood and over the railroad tracks, but
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
yeah. So we're gonna wrap this thing up here, Bridget, before too long.
Yeah, because people are probably falling asleep or they tuned out a long time ago.
Yeah. But what are some final things that you would like to say?
Well, at the end of my book, A String of Paper Suns, suns spelled S-U-N-S, like the sun in the sky.
Right.
A string of paper suns, there's like a call to action. So there are many ways people can be involved. Not everybody needs to be a protester, and we don't all need to agree. But I think it's healthy when we have more dialogue with each other. And like, there are times when I've been out door knocking, and some of my longest conversations are with people I think very differently from. Like, just in the past week, this guy came out and he's like, I'm a Republican, and I thought he wanted to just kind of, like, I don't know, fight with me maybe. But we just sat on his front steps and talked, and he decided he liked my candidate. So I think those conversations are helpful, not to just try to get people to agree with you, but just to have more connection with each other, more community building. And we need people with all these different perspectives to be engaged. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. It could just be volunteering for something, or helping out in your community, doing something you're interested in, like helping with a community garden, or reading to kids at the library. I don't know. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Artwork. If you write poetry. I mean, there's just whatever is your jam.
Yeah.
And it also kind of can give you hope if you're seeing things that are upsetting or that concern you. There are ways to get involved where you can see maybe some of the change that's happening.
Okay.
Oh, we got some blue sky still.
Yeah.
So I know when now we can see your face up close. And I'm not like right in the camera, but it gives me hope, because then I get to see more up close and personal how things are changing. And when you're more plugged in, you get a closer, more intimate view of change happening in communities. So, and also just connecting with other people who care. So sometimes I might be feeling down, but then I'll go out and like have a meeting with some other people, other activists or whoever, people in politics. I have a YLF board meeting this week, and it just gives, I think we can impart strength and hope to each other through these connections. So there's lots of different ways. Like, there was one analogy I heard, like, we don't have to operate in all lanes. We can just like pick our own lane, and that's cool.
Okay. So I have one more clarifying question before we're gonna get off here. You said that there could be improvements with policing and stuff like that. When you say that, you don't mean that the police officer as a person is bad, correct? Or
well, it's not about saying they're a good or bad person. It's about how we need to make adjustments in these systems so that we have models that are reflective, that are actually representative and reflective of what communities want. So it's more about like, how do we intentionally create... Oh,
yeah, hold on.
That was too loud.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's about how we intentionally create the solutions that really make sense and are functional and healthy.
Okay.
So, because like when we talk about anti-racism, is that like a fire station up there?
Yep.
See, nobody's mad at the firefighters. Nobody says, fuck the fire department.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They don't have those problems.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But,
yeah, when we talk about anti-racism, it's not about saying like you're a good or bad white person. It's about learning how racism really is everywhere and affects everything, and how it contributes to disparities and violence. And so it's not like individually pointing a finger like, Chris, like, you're the problem, Chris. It's about like learning how these we're all socialized. We're into a racist society. It's also a patriarchal society where, you know, primarily white men have dominated, have had the power. It doesn't mean that no white man ever struggles. So I think there's some clarification that could happen, that it's more about shifting power balance and dynamics and moving forward intentionally and having deeper understanding of how we participate in all these systems that have been created intentionally to give certain people power and other people not, and how certain people benefit. Like, we see how society is created to benefit non-disabled people more so than disabled people.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why, well, you actually have good sidewalks out here. But society, talking about what we do in society, like, for example, most of our spaces, this is a built environment. We're out in the suburbs, it's a built environment. People built it a certain way to function for certain people and not all people. And maybe because they didn't know like what certain people needed. But then that's why we need input from advocates and other people. So like when we go to a crosswalk, for example, it also works for people who are blind or deaf.
Or well lit. So it's well lit.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like the audio you hear at a crosswalk, that's an accessibility
Those
feature.
are really cool. They have those downtown.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Like the little beep, 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 beep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And one day, maybe I'll be able to take you downtown in Minneapolis and show you that, because I think that would be really cool for people to see.
Yeah, for sure. You could do another video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that, or like with websites, for example, not all of them are totally accessible. And so we're moving in that direction.
We're gonna have
And I want to say universal design is what? Is that a train?
Yep.
Oh, so we have to wait now? Or should we try to get across?
Nope, we're gonna wait. Because I'm not.
And there's no bar that goes, oh no, there is. Well,
Yeah.
why aren't the bars going down? Oh,
See,
geez.
there they go. See?
Well, we're going to watch a train go by. I haven't watched a train for a while. Fine. Universal design, where we design things intentionally with multiple communities in mind, with their input. And here comes the train. Toot toot!
I guess we'll find out.
I didn't count. Trains are so cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of graffiti on these cars. I wonder what it means.
Yeah.
Getting to the end. I think. Maybe. Yeah. Toot toot.
Trains are cool.
Yeah, they are.
They're well trained.
On that note, good night, everyone. Tip your waiter.
This has been the Cruiser Chris World Network, and we hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it has been an educational experience for you. And if you like what you see, like, subscribe, and share so that we can continue to be here to bring you this information. Thank you and have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Bridget.